Hi, in this video, what I would like to talk about next is the input element. So we're not going to talk about everything you can talk about with an input element, but this is going to be very important for web design because we use these for forms in more ways than necessarily it's obvious. So really quickly, input elements can be self-closing here. We don't have an ending tag or a closing tag. So we just have the input element, the opener, so this less than sign, the name, and we have this slash right here, and then this slash indicates that we don't have to look for a closing element or a closing tag, and then we close off this tag. You can just do that. That will work. Browsers will interpret that correctly. However, I tend to try to put this slash in there. I think it makes it a little bit more obvious what's going on. Now we can style divs with CSS. We're not going to go over that so much right now, but what we have as our output is we have this nice little input here. So we can style inputs with CSS. And obviously that has some obvious uses in forms. So there's some important things to be aware of. However, there are lots of different types of divs, or inputs, I'm sorry. So for example, and by the way, type is an attribute. So we can say file input. And this will allow us to choose a file to download. We can say, instead of file, we can do checkbox. And this will give us a checkbox, obviously. There's radio. And this is not actually the same as a checkbox, because normally with radio buttons, what we have is we'll have 3 or 4 options, and only one of them will want checked. And we'll want exactly one checked generally also. We already saw text, right? That's just sort of a normal one. So now we're going to do password. Oh, there we go. And that will give us a little bit of security because people won't be able to see what we're typing. There's another one that's hidden, and you won't see this one because it's hidden. This is very useful if we want to input a form and there's data that's not actually given by the user. It's data that we get either through JavaScript or that the form is loaded with. So this is actually much more useful than it might seem. And then there's button. And there are other ones, but we'll just go over these ones for now. In fact, in this video, I'm mostly going to concentrate on text. So if we have a text type here, there's another attribute we can use, which is placeholder. So my placeholder. This allows us to have some text that shows up there until you type in your own. So you don't even have to delete it. We can have a default value, my value, and the value will be whatever's in here. So if we need to access the text of this in JavaScript, we'll use a value property. And that'll be the default value, but it'll be changeable. We can also do built-in validation. Max length equals 2. So we can go here and put, and I can't type more than 2 characters. So inputs are going to be a really important part of web development. So as we go through the different types of elements, we'll probably use this one quite a bit. The last thing I want to show you, because you're probably going to be trying this out on your own, is a button. If we do a value, my button, the value will actually be the text on the button. Now very often we don't end up using the button input type. Instead there's another tag that's just for buttons. But you can use all sorts of all these sorts of input types. They're all very useful.